Good evening, Sports Insanity Network fans. It's Mark Oldop, Sky Halpern here on the Sports Insanity Network. It's Thursday Night Gridiron. Why am I here? Because I am the big Dallas fan in this group. Also, I'm here is because I covered the Detroit Lions on our Blitzer group. So I got both games. So why not be here? But
Why
let's kick it
not?
over to let's kick it over to this guy's show. It's Bill Murphy's Thursday Night Gridiron. Bill, it's all to you.
What's going on, football fans? Bill Corpus Crispy Murphy here as joined. You just heard of Mark Olaf, Guy Halpern, and Danny Boy Reginald, and welcome to Thursday Night Gridiron here on the Sports Insanity Network. Gentlemen, how we doing tonight?
Good man. Big time Thursday night action as a true week off for both of these teams. You know,
Yeah, they actually get an actual week off.
yeah. And then of course they get the mini bye afterwards. So,
So all is right in Detroit and Dallas.
yes.
I don't know if all right in Detroit, but in Dallas, yes, things are right.
So yeah, tonight is like what Mark said, the Detroit Lions. I almost said Tigers, but I caught myself. I'm very proud of myself there. The Detroit Lions versus the Dallas Cowboys. So so both teams coming off Thanksgiving Day games, and what and but first, quick question: does the winner of this game make the playoffs tonight?
It's a tough question. You have two teams in the midst of two very mild, well, one very strong division and one very mild division. The NFC East, the Eagles are falling apart. So if Dallas wins, Dallas has a chance to make the playoffs, but not as a wild card, more as a division win. As for Detroit, if Detroit loses today and Green Bay wins, Detroit could be on the outs looking in because Chicago is also looking very hard to beat. So I don't think either team, if they win today, are guaranteed a playoff spot, but it just inches them closer. Dan?
Yeah, look, the NFC, especially the that seventh spot is pretty tight right now. And Dallas has done a very good job at getting themselves back into the mix. I know we were questioning whether they were even going to be within a playoff race in December. Now we know for a fact that, by virtue of last week's victory, that they were going to be in the mix in December. And it's definitely something that, if you're a Dallas fan, you should definitely be proud of and stuff, getting yourself back in. And then for Detroit, you're still trying to figure out what your team is. You keep, going through these stretches of win, lose, win, lose, win, lose type of thing. It's just, maybe you go on a two-game winning streak, then you go on a two-game losing streak. Like you don't know what the team is. And they've been hard to figure out. I know they've had injuries along the way, and that can't be ignored. But this Detroit team has been a little weird. I'm putting that very lightly. It's been a rough season.
Reg being very nice to the great city of Detroit.
Yeah.
According to NFL.com, their playoff pictures, if De right now, if Detroit has a 40% chance of making the playoffs, if they lose 18%, if they win 53%. If currently Dallas has a 19% chance of making the playoffs. If they win 36%, if they lose 8%. So I think if this team wins, they'll be in a better position for the playoffs, if that makes sense. But I don't think it's 100% guaranteed.
Right now, we got the immortal Jim Mora standing there saying, playoffs, we're not worried about the playoffs. Let's just get past this week.
I know, right? But no, guys, we're already week 14. We literally got 4 weeks left in this season.
Yep, 4 weeks left, then 4 weeks of playoffs, and then the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You don't
And
get
then
to
we're
get rid of us that easily.
depressed for the next month while we wait for baseball. But but yeah, so I would say whoever wins tonight is in a better position to make the playoffs, but I don't think it's 100% guaranteed.
I mean, the NFC's tight, so I wouldn't guarantee it. I think it is a tough thing to just flat out be like, yeah, definitely win this game. Uh, you're it. I think they have a better chance. The
Yeah.
probability goes up a lot, but you know, a lot could happen in 4 weeks.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Very,
Because
very true.
The Lions, their schedule is after tonight. Next week they have the Rams. Then the week after that they have Pittsburgh. Then the week after that they have the Vikings on Christmas Day, and then they close out the season in Chicago with the Bears.
Uh, the last weekend of this season is going to have so many high profile games. I don't know who's going to get flexed, but if you want to see an interesting fact, I think it'll come down to that game for the Lions against Chicago for them to have a shot at the playoffs. That's considering they have Dallas tonight, and as you just pointed out, the Rams next week, and the Rams are anything but a softie.
Because, well, with the Cowboys, they got the Vikings next week for Sunday Night Football, which, okay, not the best choice for Sunday Night Football. Come on, NBC.
It'll be switched by that time. It'll be flexed out. I hope.
Come on, NBC. Then the next week they got the Chargers. Then they got the Commanders on Christmas Day, and then they close out against my beloved Giants.
Giants just might as well not show up.
Agreed. Agreed.
A horrible.
I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure Dan will pretty much agree. I think Detroit and Dallas had the same difficultness in going into these last games, making this game all the more important.
Yeah.
I can agree. So anyway, let's so first of all, we're going to talk about Dallas, who are coming off a win last week against the Kansas City Chiefs. And Marky Mark, I cannot believe I'm saying this. And I'm wearing my giant sweatshirt when I say this, which makes this even more painful.
Hmm.
You beat Kansas City. I can't believe I'm saying this. Thank you.
Let me tell you, it was. I mean, I've talked about both recap games already, but that was probably a bigger statement piece than beating the Eagles. I'm gonna stick with this. Dan's gonna laugh. I said the Eagles game was the Battle of Midway. I said the Kansas City Chiefs was Guadalcanal. Tonight's game is Okinawa. That's where we're headed.
Okay, we're making a lot of World War II references here tonight.
Have been for the last 3 weeks, and as somebody pointed out, you got something good, you keep running with it until it ends.
Okay, so Dak went 27 completions out of 39 attempts, 320 yards, 8.2 average, 2 touchdowns, and Javonte Williams, 17 carries, 59 yards. Cavante Turpin, 3 carries, 33 yards, 11 average, and Malik Davis with 1 touchdown. So, what has caused the Cowboys to win this 2-game win streak?
When you have an owner who's pretty much telling anybody nobody is guaranteed a spot next year, the ones who have contracts don't have to really worry about it. There are a lot of players who are going to be playing for their roster lives this year. So it's in all better interest for Dallas to win. Dan?
3-game win streak, by the way, for the Cowboys.
3-game.
It is a 3-game win streak. The thing that's led to it, obviously, slightly the defense. because even though they still give up a ton of points, it hasn't been as crazy as we've seen. Like, we've seen the Cowboys give up 40 plus points and everything and big time losses. Lately, it's been really good. I mean, obviously the Raiders, they suck. You gave them 16 points. The Eagles only scored 21, so three touchdowns, and then they held them to none in the second half. And then the Chiefs scored 28. So a vast, vast improvement from what we saw the Cowboys. The Cowboys were getting lit up by some of these teams early on this season. So slightly the defense and also the fact that the offense has woken up a bit. You're getting that production out of Pickens and all that stuff. Dak has been very good. Schottenheimer, I know he has an offensive coordinator, but let's be real. He's the real guy. He's the real OC. I don't care what anyone says. Um, he has called good games. He's coached the team very well overall. And the fact that he has this team locked in and ready to go, and they're not giving up on the season, it's a combination of factors. It's the players doing their jobs, it's the coaches coaching well, good game management, and look, they just getting lucky. I think this is a pretty soft spot of the schedule if you really think about it, based on how these teams have been doing all season. I think the Cowboys lucked into one this season where this part of the schedule, even though we didn't really expect it to be, it's actually pretty soft.
So, yeah, no, absolutely. I think Schottenheimer has stepped it up, and the Cowboys are now on the outside looking in. They're on the outside looking in. And Dallas has had a big weapon at it, and that's George Pickens. What's his been this impact on the offense?
You're taking all the pressure off of CD Lamb of having to throw him the ball 20, 25 times as an exaggeration. Giving Pickens is like giving Michael Irvin Alvin Harper. It is the perfect combination of receiver, and Dallas doesn't really have to worry about Pickens next year because they can franchise tag him. And I think that is the plan, and I think Pickens knows that, so he's going to get a bigger contract extension after that. Without Pickens, Dallas isn't alive for most of these games. George Pickens has been a huge difference. Danny,
Oh, he
what?
has. Along with him and CD Lamb, it has really brought a spark to the offense.
Yeah, it's a spark for the offense, especially with CeeDee Lamb, because he was sidelined for a little bit. So having him back and then having the production out of Pickens, it's it has created a passing attack that has really, really contributed to some big time plays for Dallas. That has been very, very effective in the passing game and the offensive game in general. Like low key, Dallas is having a pretty good season in terms of the passing. If you really think about it.
Well, if you look at all the current leaders, Dak ranks first in completions. He ranks first in first down passes. He ranks first in a ton of things. But here's the thing that everybody likes to say. Dak can't get it done in the playoffs. I know a lot of quarterbacks who didn't get it done in the playoffs. But here's the thing. Dak's making $60 million. That's why it's a bigger discussion. Will Dallas make the playoffs this year? I don't know. We'll see. But as Dan pointed out, the defense has gotten better as we watched that Giants game, which was a atrocity of passing yards by a guy who has been benched for Jameis Winston. I mean, talk about your last hurrahs. And now Jackson Dart is in the starting, but he's not even on. He's a healthy scratch now. And anybody says anytime they have Russell Wilson as a healthy scratch is a liar. Um, but no, the defense is improving, and the biggest thing for Dallas tonight is they get back Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon Diggs will be
Yes.
back, and he will be guarding Jamison Williams tonight. It's already been decided.
Trayvon, yeah. So anyway, I need to ask you, is Schottenheimer's fate dependent on whether or not they make the playoffs?
John Imerson.
No,
No.
he's staying for a while. He's in the right position.
Yeah. The Jerry Jones, I know he doesn't seem like it because he's had so many coaching changes in the past. He's actually very patient with these head coaches. That's one thing that I actually appreciate from Jerry is that he actually gives them time to build a program that works for the team that could deliver them a winner. So moving off of Schottenheimer after a season would be very uncharacteristic of the ownership.
And Dan just hit it right on the head there.
Like I've never seen Jerry Jones. I mean, maybe with Jimmy, but like like he usually takes his time with these coaches. You know, like it would have to be a disaster for Jerry Jones to have a one and done.
Exactly.
It would absolutely be a disaster for a one and done. Now, let's flip the ball to the Motor City, the Detroit Lions. They are getting off a Thanksgiving loss last week, losing to the Green Bay Packers 31-24. So Jared Goff went 20 for 26, 256 yards, 9.8 touchdowns, a 9.8 average.
9.8 yards. Yeah, 9.8 yards per pass. I mean, that would have
Sorry,
been
ding,
that for my fantasy day.
ding, and 2 touchdowns.
Can you
Ding, ding.
imagine scoring 10 touchdowns and you lose? Like,
Oh.
That would be insane.
oh my God.
And Jamison Williams, 7 receptions, 144 yards, 1 touchdown. So I need to ask you, Amar St. Brown is a game time decision with an ankle injury. If he is out, who do the Lions need to step up? Sam Laporta's on the IR. So who do the Lions need to step up?
Here's the problem. You got probably top 3 wide receiver in the league. Coming off this, it's not a high ankle sprain. It is a mild ankle sprain, but he's only had 3 days to rehabilitate it. He's GTD. If they play him, they are risking everything with him. A more serious injury could see him miss the rest of the season when they're going to need him more and going into next year. But that's not my call to make. I'm not the one. I'm not the one who signs his paycheck. But in my opinion, as a analyst, it would be a mistake to play Amon St. Brown for that reason.
He's active tonight. Schefter said it. Rappaport said it. So they're gonna give it a go. Um, without any practice this week, that's a tough. Me, it's an ankle injury. Those are usually very tough. To just go out there, especially without any practice. But I get it. Like you want your big weapon out there. You know, Monroe St. Brown, there's a reason why he's one of the best in the league. And, if you can get him out there to be part of your passing attack, knowing that all your other options are, they're okay, they can get the job done, but not as much as him or Laporta. Like it's desperation. That's what I call it. It's desperation.
And I think Dan used the right word there. It is desperation because, as Bill pointed out, Sam Laporta's on the IR. You take Amon St. Brown out of this lineup, it's just Jamison Williams and a lot of low depth chart guys. And some of these guys, this kid Tesla had a nice Thanksgiving game. So, he does have people who can catch the ball, But if you put Ross St. Brown in, and as Dan said, he is active for tonight, what he's going to be is more of a distraction and to help pull a defender away from Jameson Williams. That's if he's in, that's how I would use him more as more of a decoy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be curious. I mean, I'm watching some video. Not quick. I mean, he's running well, but obviously not fast enough. Let's see what happens. I'm curious. I'm very curious to see like if having him as a decoy is actually not a terrible idea if it means you're going to use more of your run game or maybe have someone else open on the field. That but let's just say if it doesn't work out and you still lose, well, you know, it's interesting. It's interesting for the Lions.
It is very interesting for the Lions. So, who needs to step up, the O line or the D line?
Well, the Detroit offensive line got beat up on Thanksgiving. They're not going to allow that to happen again.
Yeah.
They're a good offensive line. They really are. I mean, you try to stop Micah Parsons, and I mean, forget it. It's not something that can be easily done. I think the Detroit offensive line needs to hold off a Dallas defensive line that's gotten younger and a little more hungrier. And I think this game more goes to the Dallas linebacking group to slow down Jameer Gibbs and David Montgomery, which anybody will tell you is the hardest thing to do. They are the best running back duo in football for a reason.
Yeah. I mean, th- they're up there offensively. I mean, not in every category, but they're there. I think the biggest one is the defense because uh defense gives up a lot of points. Not only that, but um it's been a rough patch. Again, they're not they haven't been too bad. Because, like I said, it's been more of a win-loss, win-loss, win-loss type of thing for the Lions. As a matter of fact, over the past 8 games, they've been trading wins and losses. So hasn't been terrible. I think that the defense has been fine, but they don't close. They don't make that big impact play when they need to. And that's what killed them against the Packers.
Yes.
They didn't make the plays when they had to, and Jordan Love cooked them. What can you do? So you're forcing the offense, which has been pretty solid, to make a big play. And with that Packers defensive line, it's pretty nasty. Like it's a tough thing to do. As the Rangers have a 2-1 lead over the Senators. Sorry about that. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you. I think the D line is going to be the one to step it up because Jordan Love just ripped through them last week.
Yeah.
So I think the D line has really got to step it up. Okay. What is your X factors for tonight, gentlemen?
For me, it's Jameer Gibbs. He needs to get that running game going to give Dak the option for play action early. Um, Javante's done a great job. He's going to go over 1,000 yards. He's definitely earned a stay in Dallas. So tonight he needs to get that moving early.
Yeah,
Do,
I always go for Dak on the Dallas side. Quarterback play is huge. He's been tremendous. If he can get that passing game going, hit his big time targets, he'll be fine. On the Lions side, I'm gonna need that whole coaching staff to figure it out because they're right in the thick of it. They're right there. So they can have a solid game across the board, offense, defense, special teams. Be a good night for them. So let's see what the coaching staff can do. Um, Lions team is kind of banged up.
I'm for Detroit. I'm going to agree with Mark. I'm going to say it's Jahmyr Gibbs because right now it depends on if St. Brown is playing and Laporta's already out. So you're going to need someone who's really going to cover the run game. And I think the Lions need to exercise the run game tonight. So I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be the guy. For the Dallas Cowboys, I think, since the D line from Detroit's been off last week, I think Dak's got to hit CeeDee Lamb and he's got to hit George Pickens. I think that's going to be his factor tonight. Predictions, gents.
Dallas wins another close game, 27-24.
I'm gonna say a Dallas win. It'll be like 31-27.
I'm going to agree with Mark. I think Dallas is going to pull it out 27-24 because Detroit's too banged up right now.
I don't know if it's necessarily Detroit is banged up. It's just Detroit is in a neutral state. They're not on a rise, they're not on a fall. They need something to get going because it's not like there's a big gap between Chicago and Green Bay. So they have to try to keep pace. It's not easy.
I agree. Okay, so that is the show for tonight. If you want to know more, go to www.thesportsinsanitynetwork.com. As always, thank you to our friends at the Dugout of Millwood. Don't forget to check out our blogs and check out our history on the website. And also, don't forget to check us out wherever you get your podcasts. And don't check us out here on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell. All here, you get Thursday Night Gridiron, which you just watched. You get Sunday Sideline Report. You get 1v1 or
A one of
One
one.
of one.
1 of 1. I'm going to get it one of these days, Mark. 1 of 1. And many other fantastic programs here. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell. And the Mothership Pod, SIP, tomorrow somewhere between 9 and 12, right, Reggie?
Sure.
Or how about this? Whenever we feel like it.
Exactly.
Whenever we feel like it, damn it.
Yes. If you, as long as you have your notifications set, you will know when we go live.
We might come do it in our underwear because we can.
Well, I won't.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's wild.
No, I think if they all saw me, we'd be losing viewers.
Yeah.
Hey, we all gotta laugh at ourselves.
Cool.
Yeah, so for Danny Boy Reginald, Mark Goldowski, Halpern, I'm Bill Corpus, Crispy Murphy. Thank you all for watching. Stay safe, take care.